Hi everyone, welcome back to Crochet Rocks. It's Tracy here, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to get started on my latest project, which is a character blanket. Now this one is this one is a creeper from Minecraft, and I'm making this for my grandson because he's obsessed with Minecraft. And so this one is a square, but doesn't have to stay a square by adding a border, maybe a white one around the top and bottom and then a few at the side, or another colour, whatever you want. You can turn it into a rectangle. So in order to follow along with this, I have put this on my website, and in a second I will show you where to find it on that website. So at the moment though, this is a nice crisp new one, but this is the one that I've been working with. As you can see, I've been working with it. It's a bit dog-eared, but you will need altogether 16 of the light green squares. You will need 28 of the dark green squares and 20 of the black squares. So far I've been busy and I've made 16 of the light green, so I've done all of those. I've made 19 of the dark green, so I'm almost there. And I have made 17 of the black. I thought I'd finished them, but I haven't. So you will need one 100-gram skein for the light green, because this is how much I had left over of the yarn that I'm using for the light green, and my black gave me this. So obviously you'll need 2 skeins of black because I haven't finished those yet, and the dark green, I had the same little remnant left over and I haven't finished those, so you'll need 2 skeins of the dark colour. But I always like to have way too much, so I've got masses of it just in case, and I've not really decided what I want to do, if I want to make it so that there are 2 side by side, making it a bigger blanket, or maybe another character from the same Minecraft, or whether I'm just going to make an oblong of different colours on the side. So the yarn that I've used then, this is more of an introduction to it, and I will get on to doing the tutorial soon, but obviously it's not exactly a crochet along, but it's kind of in a few parts. So the light green, I found difficult to get hold of a lighter green, so I've got this Wendy Supreme DK, and I will put all of the dimensions and everything else in the description box for you to see, along with all the materials used. But I've used Stylecraft Special DK, always upside down yarn bands when I do them. So these are my 3 colours that I've chosen. I've got a lighter green, a darker green, and the black. So that's the yarn. I'm going to pause it now and show you where you can find that template to download. Okay, this is my website, and for those of you who've not found it before, it is Hobby Rocks. So it's www.hobbyrocks.co.uk, and this is the front page. There's a little bit above there, but it's not worth seeing. Just your log out and everything else. So these are some of the buttons you can go to, and you can scroll down to brands and all that sort of thing. Now I was going to put it in there, but I couldn't figure out how to get it down there. So you will find these if you go onto patterns and you let the drop down go to patterns. You've got free crochet patterns, so you click on there and you will see all of the free downloadable crochet patterns that there are, and somewhere in amongst these you will find, there it is, the creeper. So it's just called Crochet Rocks Creeper Blanket Template, and you click on it. I don't want you to worry about, there'll be no charge. You can see it's 0. Add to basket, and when it will appear over here, and you can just say proceed to checkout, and hopefully there we go. I've got rid of all my info, so it's 0. All my info's in there. continue to payment and complete order, and then you will get an email saying that your let's go to the email, and I just hope there's no spam in it because I'm being inundated. Yeah, there is spam. Oh no, here we go, that's me. So it says your hobby box order is now complete, and there is your order. So you go down here and it says download. You can download it here, so just click on that. Is it this one or is it this one? One of them. There we go, that one, not the one which says new order, the one where it's that was for me. Okay, that's what I get when someone sends me an order, so I know that they've actually ordered yarn. So yeah, anyway, here it goes. There's the download. You just click on that and hey presto, there it goes. It's downloaded and you can now print that out. So, or just store it on your phone, whatever, and work from it. So that's how to find it and how to get it. All right, so I'm just going to pause it then and we'll get back to the tutorial. Okay, so here we are back again, and I wanted to take you through how to actually get that and download it, because not everybody's technical and I know that some people probably don't know how to do that. So rather than just tell you where it is, I thought I would show you how you can actually get that downloaded. And if you've got a printer, great. If not, you can actually just keep that picture on your phone or tablet or whatever and use it. Okay, so I'm going to show you then how to make these squares, and I will show you on one of these green ones what I've done. So it is a seamless solid granny square, and these are quite large because this picture is very boxy, and the last character blanket I made was a Mario, and so it needed to be quite small squares to get the intricate kind of picture. Whereas this is a very boxy picture. It's a bit like a crude drawing of a house when you're a child. So you can have nice big squares. So I've used DK weight yarn, but I could have equally have used Aran or Chunky and made a much bigger blanket, and I probably should have done, to be honest with you, but I've used DK yarn. But you can use any that you want as long as you use the corresponding crochet hook to that yarn. So I'm just going to clear all this away now, and I'm going to show you how these are made. Okay, so I'm using a 4.5mm crochet hook with my DK weight yarn, but like I said, you can use any that you want. Now I used the magic loop to start with. I haven't tightened every one of them up completely yet, but if you wanted that little hole in the center, you could make just a ring of 4 chain and work into that, but I wanted it to be as closed up as possible. So I do a really easy magic loop. You've probably seen it on the various things by now, but I just make a loop, put my hook in, grab the yarn, and I make 2 chains because we are using UK trebles, which is a US double crochet. So into this ring, I'm going to make what would be the start of a normal everyday granny square. I'm just going to put the light on because it is getting quite dark today. Okay, hopefully it's not going to make too much shadow, but it's a really dark, rainy day today. So into this ring, I'm going to yarn over and make my first UK treble, which is a US double crochet, by making my 3 loops and pulling through 2 and 2. And then I'm going to do another one, all the time working into this ring and over that tail, so that I have 3, including the 2 chain I started with. So now I'm going to chain 1 and do another 3. So the start of this is exactly the same as a granny square would be. Exactly. So I'm going to do, in effect, another 2 lots of 3. And then my 4th one will be different, just in case you want to race ahead. Just a little warning. The 4th one is a tad different. So now I have my 3, 1, 2, 3 lots of 3. I'm going to pull this tighter just a little bit. I'm going to do my chain, and I'm going to do 3. But instead of a chain, If I go ahead, just pause it, catch up with me. So now I have my 4 lots of 3, making my square 1, 2, 3 and 4. Just going to pull on this a bit. Okay, so there is my first 2 chain, and I'm going to go into the top one, but I'm going to do a UK half treble, which is a half double in the US. So I'm going to yarn over, I'm going to go into the top one of those 2 chains, and I'm going to go into the 2 loops. You can go into the half bit if you want. It's hard to get this on camera. It's easy when I'm just sitting there, but with the camera in between me and you, it's not going to work, is it? Let me just make that one baggier, if I can. I go into them very easily when you're not watching me. It just doesn't want to do it. Now, there we go. Am I in? No, I'm not. Oh, I'm just going to go into them like that then. Okay, no problem. So I've got my 3, and I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 3. Okay, so I've made a hole. That's my tail. Let's get that out of the way. And that's the same size as all the other holes, but I'm in the center of this. So I'm going to chain 2 for my first UK treble, and we're going to make half a corner. So I'm going to go in, yarn over, go into that hole in between those 2 segments and make a UK treble or US double. Okay, so that's half a corner. Now I've got 1, 2, and this one here is my 3rd. It looks different from the others because it's the one I've gone into. But I'm going to go and do 1 in that first stitch, and then 1 in each of the next 2. Now I'm back at the corner. Okay, I'm going to do a corner, a normal corner, and this is where it differs from a granny square, where you would do 3 in the corner, 1 chain and 3 in the corner. I'm doing 2. 1, 2, 1 chain, and then another 2. If you do 3, it gets a little bit bulky and congested. So I'm going to pull that aside so I can see my first stitch, and I'm going to go into my first one. Sometimes it gets a bit hidden, and then into the second one, and then into the 3rd one. So we've turned the corner and it's not all bunched up. We're going to do a full corner again, which is 2, 1 chain and 2. If I go ahead of you, just pause me and catch up. So if you did 3, it really does hide that stitch. So there we go. I'm going to go into that first one and into the middle and the last one, and do my full corner again. Excuse me. I thought I won't take a drink to do this tutorial. I won't need one. Okay, pull that one aside, reveals your stitch. I'm going to go into that first one, the second, and the 3rd one. Now I need to complete that corner. As you can see, there's my 2. So I'm going to do 2 over this side. And once again, I'm going to go into the top of these chains, and hopefully it'll work this time with my half treble or half double. It's only the way I'm sitting, you know, it goes in ever so easily. It really does, seriously, go in ever so easily when I'm just sitting there. Yay, there we go. See, it wasn't lighting. Okay, so now I'm going to close that up and do my 2 chain and go into that space that I've just created for my other half of the corner. Okay, so now I will have 7 stitches along here to go into. So I'm going to go into my first one, which looks different, remember, because it's we've gone into the stitch. I've got to pull some yarn out, just bear with me a second. Okay, you probably saw my shadow doing that. Okay, don't worry if this hole does open. We're going to close that at the end. Okay, so we're going to go in each one along all the way to the end. Try not to race across, but if I do go ahead of you, just pause it. Or if you're quicker than me, just pause it and wait for me. Unless you know what to do, because we're now at the corner. As you can see, there's the gap between the one chain space. We're going to do a full corner there, which, as you know from the previous round, is 2 trebles, or UK trebles, US doubles, 1 chain, and then 2 more. That is all of our corners, apart from our half corners, of course. So now we pull that stitch across, we find our first stitch, and we go in there. Okay, so that is our repeat now. We're going to go in each one of these stitches all the way along until we get to the corner, and then we're going to do a full corner. So we'll just do this bit and we'll see what that looks like. And then I will pause it and meet you back at the start. One more to do. It's nice and simple, but it's much better when you make them with like seamless than having that awkward seam or going back the other way as well, which I really don't like doing. Okay, so let's get rid of the tail. There we are. So we have made a full corner and a full corner there. We've got half a corner here. Okay, so we're just going to continue going into those 7 stitches along. I think there's 7, or is there 11 now? Let's see. Where are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, the next row, you get it, is 11. Okay, so I'm going to continue on. I'll pause the video, get myself a drink, and I will come back to you when I get back to this corner. Okay, I'm back at the corner. I'm going to finish it off with my last 2. And then I'm going to struggle on camera to get it in to that top chain. There's the first one and there's the second one. So let's try and see if it works for me. I think this one could do if I wasn't sitting at such an odd angle. Just bear with me a sec. There, it's in. As if by magic. So yeah, I'm going into that one. Just going into that top chain and finishing it off. There we go. So now we've got our square. We're going to do exactly the same thing this time round with a few extra stitches. So I'm going to do the first part of my corner, not forgetting that first stitch, which looks different when you go into the 2 top stitches. It doesn't really matter. It looks the same. You can't tell that that one wasn't. You can't tell. It's the same. But we're going to go in each one along and get to the corner and again do our corners. But just bear with me a sec. Sorry, I had the postman there. So yeah, it's 11 this time around, as I said before. So we're just going to go in and do all of our stitches along the edge and make our corner just like we did before. Nearly there, so I'll stay with you for a second, though I'm sure you know what to do by now. So we're going to do our 2, our 1 chain and our 2, and then pulling that one aside, we're going to go into our first stitch all the way along, make our corner, go all the way along, make our corner, all the way along back to here, and I'll come back to you once I've done that. Okay, so I've made it all the way across. Now this is the last one, but I still want to do the same. I just get the title on. Typical for my luck at the very last one. I've got a tighter stitch. Still want to go in that last. I'm going to do it off camera. I do apologise. but it's the only way I can fiddle around with that tight little chain and get my 2 loops. Well, I've got 1.5 now. Split it. There we go. I've got my 2 loops on there, just about. And I'm still going to do it that way. And the reason for that is I want my join to be right in the centre. So there we go. I'm going to just do 1 chain, cinch it down, snip off a nice long tail because you don't want to be struggling at all. So now there we are. I've got my square. I've got several others already made. There we go. And what I recommend is not what I've done. As you can see, I have now got all of these to deal with. So what would be good practice really would be to make a square and deal with not only this centerpiece tail, but this one as well, so that when we come to do the joining, they're all done. And if you do it as you go, it's not nearly as painful as sitting there doing them all at the end. Now I've done some because one night I was sitting there and I thought, oh, I better get some of these done. So some of them have been done, but I'm struggling to find any because there's not that many. But I do recommend you do that. So that's how we make the square. And there's the picture. And as I said before, what you'll need is 16 of the light green, 28 of the dark green, and 20 black. And it just depends what you want to do when you get to the end, whether you want to have a whole row of white ones around it or not. I'm going to put in the description box all the information, all of the yarn and hook sizes. Now, because it is very boxy, if I wanted to make this bigger, I could do another row around of every single square. It doesn't have to be this big. That's the beauty of it. And if you did it with Aran yarn or chunky yarn, of course, they'd be bigger. But that's it. You've seen where to download the actual template as well. So I'm going to leave you to make all of those squares. And on part 2, we will do the joining. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.